Since last month, Brazilian law allows men and women to opt for sterilization surgery as soon as they are 21 years old. I recently spoke with a young man, 23 years old, still a student, still living with his mother, and he told me that he wants to get vasectomy as soon as possible. He said it's just a little cut. And he said that he will feel relieved once he's sure that he cannot have children. I was shocked. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I had vasectomy almost 3 years ago. Before that, I spoke with a friend of mine, and he told me vasectomy is just a little cut. He actually did it at the doctor's office, and he said it was so fast that it took him longer to find a parking spot than to get the surgery. It's just a little cut. However, I heard other stories. Another friend of mine told me that some men feel excruciating pain for months after having a vasectomy. So I decided to go the safe way. I had general anesthesia, and I did it in the best hospital in Latin America. As I reminisce about the day of the surgery, I have many memories. I remember I took a Uber to the hospital because the doctor had told me that I couldn't drive on the way back. I remember I read a book to take my mind off of the surgery. I remember that when the time was coming for me to go to the operation room, I called my wife and I told her that the doctor would contact her as soon as it was over so that she could come and fetch me. I remember lying on the trolley and looking at the ceiling as the nurse was taking me to the operation room. I remember being greeted by the urologist. I remember chatting with the anesthetist as she was injecting me. And then just a little cut. General anesthesia is just a little cut in your timeline. Next thing I knew, I was waking up and it was all over. I didn't dream, I didn't feel anything, I didn't remember anything that happened. Just a little cut. The doctor told me that everything went fine, that I should just be careful about resting and not doing any effort. And believe me, I didn't want to take any chance with those stitches. Just a little cut. The only thing I felt was pain in the stomach for the next week, but it was because of the medicine that I was taking. So for me, it was just a little cut. You may ask why I did it. Well, in 2019, my wife had a very serious case of pancreatitis. She was in the ICU for a month and a half. So the doctors said that it would be very dangerous for her to be pregnant again. We had already 2 kids. We were getting into our 40s. So it was just the best thing to do. Just a little cut. Now I wonder why a young man with no kids would get vasectomy. So I did a little bit of research. It turns out that some young people feel that Earth is going to be so inhospitable in the next years because of climate change and so on, that the most generous thing they can do is not to bring children into life. And they say, you know, it's just a little cut for man and a giant step for mankind. So I wonder, how do you feel about that? Come talk to me during the break or after the meeting. I'm really curious. I want to know, what do you think about it? Thank you very much.